Hello there, Big Bear StarCraft actually coming to you for the first time live from the US of A in Oregon. Address is... Actually, I do not think that is a good idea because people will love me too much and they will want to stalk me. And I do not want stalkers. I do actually want stalkers if I am Protoss. I just do not want stalkers in real life. Unfortunately, stalkers in real life, I do main Zerg, so I will not want stalkers. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you are thinking of stalking me, just know I do not play Protoss. So stalkers are not in my arsenal. Anyways, we do have strange little octopus with a Aztec-y looking symbol in the bottom left, and we have WEGIGAloner in the top right. Now I can tell you that since I am in fact Korean, I can easily translate these, and it says MC. And in the top right we have WEGIGAloner, and I am also American, so I can translate that to WEGIGAloner. I know a lot of you watching this cast will not in fact be able to read those letters because they are very weirdly shaped characters. But I will try my best to translate it for you into American, or English, whichever one you prefer. Now, we actually do have Giga here opening up with a very standard play. He's opening up with a barracks, refinery, and I'm guessing he's going to be getting an orbital. I mean, there's nothing too crazy from him. There was actually a game in the series here that I did miss, and I decided not to cast because it was just the classic 4-gate, and it was on Shattered Temple. So we'll see. I mean, so being in the mindset of Giga, you know, he's playing one of the most formidable Protosses in the entire world, MC. I don't really know how he's going to respond to already losing game 1 against the 4-gate, and so we will see how game 2 goes. And you can see that Giga is actually just going to be harassing this pylon like a boss. You know, eventually he's going to be forcing a probe off of the mineral line for just a couple seconds, and you'll see that this marine here will really deter any kind of probe from staying inside the line. And you see that after that's down, then you start making your tech switches after that probe is outside of your base. You'll probably try to get this probe back in, but I don't know how effective it will be because I'm hoping that Giga will have enough micro to actually deny that probe from getting inside of his base. And you can see throwing down a reactor with a second barracks. This is actually being more and more popularized. This is this Terran style of almost all in. But it's not all in because Terran has a mule, and the mules actually compensate for 2 or 3 workers, so you can rush a lot of SCVs and still be on the same footing as a Protoss. And you'll see that he's actually going to throw a tech lab down on this, if this is the build that I am in fact thinking of, and there it is. And you'll be getting marauders with concussive shells out of this. It's a build that I've been seeing a lot, and I really like it. It's definitely a forefront, it's definitely a Korean style of playing, but it's actually an extremely effective method for punishing a Protoss for trying to get an early expansion. But you can see that actually MC, I don't know if he just has game sense or if he scouted this, but he decided to throw down an early robo. And I think his robo, if he goes for fast Colossus, will actually be out before this push comes out. We'll see. I don't really know. We'll have to see how this works, but you can see that actually the SCV is taking control of the watchtower. MC very smartly skirting around the edges of the watchtower, and you can see that actually he's deciding to push out, picks off that probe. Sad day to be a scouting probe because you are pretty much guaranteed to die to guns and marauder shells. You can see that the reactor with a second reactor, so we only got a single marauder. No upgrades out of that marauder though. And you can see he's actually going for siege tank tech with... Anyways, so sorry about that, my screen actually blacked out there. But as we continue, you can actually see that the Terran player is currently producing tanks, so he's going to be going into probably some sort of siege tank play, with this being an early aggression, kind of deterring the Protoss from trying to go for an early expansion. You can see that the Protoss is actually going off of 2-gate robo. I'm pretty sure that he will soon be throwing down a robotics bay, probably with this here, with 200 gas. No, I guess not. Looks like he will be actually going for his expansion. And there's the expansion, instead favoring a sentry heavier style, so that way when the Colossus finally does come out, he will have more force fields to throw down and abuse the Terran player with. The Terran player, however, is actually still massing up an army and doesn't really look to be expanding here. He's not really floating any minerals, so it looks like he will still be just going for tank marine pressure. I mean, you see this all the time against Zerg. I don't really know how effective it'll be against a Protoss player, considering that Colossus just eat up marine players. And you can actually see that there's still about 60 seconds left on the siege tech, with Protoss units knocking on his front door. He does have a lot of marines and a single marauder, the marauder being the lone man out in the group. The marines are just saying, man, look at this guy, who the heck does he think he is? And you can see that actually force fields are being thrown down. A beautiful split, beautiful micro by MC. This is why he's considered to be one of the best Protosses in the entire world. And you can see throwing down more force fields. He's cut down those 3 units, further preventing the units in the back from trying to help the units in the front. And you can see that with that push, he lost no units. Not a single unit was lost in that battle. And he cut down on 7 or 8 Marines. It's those little things like that that make MC such an amazing player. You can see, I think he actually does see the observer. No, he does not. He's deciding to push out, and whenever I've seen Terran players favoring this more and more, they bring a lot of SCVs with their pushes, because the mules actually do compensate for their lack of SCVs. And you can see, but the thing is, if he does lose these SCVs with no damage, he will be a little bit behind, because the Protoss will be cranking off of 2 bases, while the Terran is actually trying to go for a 1 base sort of all-in here. I mean, because really, he doesn't look like he has an expansion in mind. It looks like he's going to keep reinforcing this. And you can see, here comes the siege tanks. I've never actually seen this play work. And you can see, there goes the bunker. So he's definitely going to just be bunkering up, slowly trying to creep forward. But there is an observer. So there you go. MC knows that this was the time to push. If there was a time to push, it would be now. And you can see that this is going to be cleaned up. He needs to get rid of that siege tank, though. That siege tank has gotten 3 or 4 shots off, so it might do more damage. You can see that WEGIGAloner cannot deal with the Protoss's 2-gate robotics into expansion, and he falls to the very, very formidable OgsMc. Big Bear Starcraft, signing out.